clicking on. Okay. The floor is yours, Henning, please.
Yes.
Did everyone read the paper? Good. Good, good. So.
Are you seeing sharing the screen?
Right, no, I have still, now it's probably coming up about now. Yeah, now we see it, yes.
Yes.
We see your slide set. Someone with a massive bar on top and below, but I don't think that matters. Well, it probably does.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll probably get there, I guess. I think you have a multi-screen setup, that's why it's trying to scale to the entire screen. But triple screen setup you actually have, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, triple.
Right, there we go. Well, you know, we don't necessarily want to force you to reconfigure your monitor array at this stage. So probably, shall we try to guess what he's writing? Yeah, we guess with it. So just go for it. Sounds good. We see your slide set.
Okay. So today we talk about series game metrics. And what is game metrics? That's information or telemetry that we can collect and process. A metric can consist of several telemetry together. And these metrics need to provide some insight based on the value you want to investigate. So usually we determine the goal, what we want to do, and then we can find the metrics based on that. You can calculate and determine that. So there is serious game analytics. These are actionable metrics developed through problem definition in trading, learning scenarios, and application statistical models, metrics, and analysis for skills and human performance improvement, and assessment using serious games as the primary tools for training. Now, you should say there's three types of metrics analytics. There's game metrics, learning analytics, and serious game analytics. These are three different types, so you can't usually use the metrics for each other. You have to get new ones, as they have different agendas. Like a game analytics, they try to have more economic purpose and to keep players in the game, while serious game analytics are for improvement or protection of serious health issues or other things. Now, it's the positive around these metrics that we. Anyone tell me what's positive about metrics? Anyone has some suggestions?
Guys, any suggestions?
They are objective.
Yeah. And you can find improvements of your motor skills, cognitive skills. You can find medical situations.
Can you give an example for that?
Like you can find if you have Alzheimer's to have memory issues, you can use eye tracking to improve or affect your reading levels. And
Okay.
there's also a study recently about how people playing FPS games have a faster reaction than people who do not. It's useful for driving.
Mhm.
They detect objects faster. And there were some negatives about metrics, because people try to find the quickest way to get best possible results. So, goal displacement, like when we have judging performance by a few measures and the stakes are high, we will try to get those measures up and we're disregarding other things.
Yeah. Just a provocative question, somewhat, right? So, isn't it clever that they are able to game the game? Isn't that a skill in itself?
Yeah, but the long-term effects of this, no,
Right.
you cannot disregard the long-term consideration by advancing short-term.
Yeah. Right. Right. So what's the yeah?
Yeah, if you have do something quick, like quick fixes and things like it can be problematic down the road and try to do other things.
Mm-hmm. So in the context of serious games, because you're really in a hotspot there, we talked about another concept that deals precisely with that problem, that people optimize against the modeled metrics as opposed to the real life metrics. What was the problem there we discussed earlier on that serious games need to solve and achieve? Does anyone recall? Open question. It was one of those boring psych lectures I gave. Hint. Still important. No one? No. Alignment? Hint? Question? Yes? No? Rings a bell? Please ring a bell. No? Okay, so the idea is really that the metrics are aligned with the objective of the game, right? So the game is not to have fun, but the game is to achieve something, right? So for example, improving your reading levels, or your driving skills, or whatever else, right? And the thing is that the metrics need to reflect that accurately and not just a proxy. And if the problem with this proxy simply is that exactly as you mentioned before, that people start playing the game for the sake of playing the game, not for the sake of learning what they're supposed to learn, right? So, yeah. Sorry for the injection. It was just so fitting to fit that back in from a pedagogy point of view. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. So.
Oh,
yeah, I brought you out of flow, but you were talking about the negatives of metrics, right? So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, like they try to affect the result by they know what they have to do.
Yeah.
But those are not they are fake results.
Yeah.
One type of metrics that we use are key decision points or game events. These are metrics based on actions that take to problem solving, or you have situations or dilemmas in the serious game. And yeah, these can be like a social situation or dilemmas that entail like what do you do if someone is bullied or someone has an accident, how do you react? And, if you have like an RPG serious game, you have several different of these situations. What can we do with having several types of situations? Do anyone have some suggestions of what can we find out with these situations, like ethical dilemmas that we can propose to the player?
Open question. Open question. Well, let me just chip in one idea. You could figure out in how far an individual is individually or socially motivated, right? So, if, for example, an ethical dilemma could be decided in a way so it benefits the actor, or in a way so it benefits, for example, the majority. Example, classical example, autonomous cars, right? So you have the ethical dilemma, right? You have either the option to crash into one person, right, one object, or a group of people, right? And you could, of course, go from a common good perspective or social good perspective. You would argue, okay, you will hit the object to avoid any sort of damage, but it probably may maximize the damage to your own car. So people, from an individualistic point of view, may be inclined to say, yeah, better go for people, right? So, but from a social good point of view, probably want to avoid this, right? So it could, if you have such a metric, simulated hopefully, then you at least get an insight about, your individual motivation. I don't know if that's one of the questions you had, but that would be an angle you could take it. Right? So you learn something about the player.
Yeah.
No? Yes? Other thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Some examples I come up with, like with enough, with a large serious game, with enough situations, you can determine personality, like Myers-Briggs type indicators, how ethical a person is, psychopathic, narcissist, if they have a lot of compassion, and other things like that. But there's also issues with that. When the player knows it is being tested like this, it will adjust its answer based on what they think we want to hear. How do we then test this person without knowing exactly what he wants? And is that ethical for us as for we that are developing this?
Yeah, that's just again to inject. So that would be a very practical question that you guys need to ask yourself, right, in your masters as well. So you can actually do your experimentation and so on. Most likely you want to figure something out, but the first question is always, okay, I know what I want to find out, but how much should I tell my subjects, right, my participants? Should they know what I'm testing for, or should I apply some sort of deceit, right? And seemingly test for something else, where it's actually taking secondary metrics that are actually aligned with what I actually want to find out. And then you're spot on by saying, well, then it comes down to the ethics approval, because you need to declare that explicitly, right? So and say, hey, I'm trying to figure that out, but I'm using the method of deceit, and those are the following method, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So it's something that you guys need to be very aware of in your practical endeavor as researchers, not only when developing serious games. So that's the injection there.
Anyone have any other ideas of what you can find out with these kind of methods?
Come on, guys. I know it's 8 o'clock in the morning. No, it's wrong. It's 10. So, but should be able to.
Yeah, then can I move to performance metrics in the serious games there, or how I can test cognitive skills like memory and thinking, thought process, intelligence, and other things like that. And psychomotorial skills, coordination, motor skills, how's the reaction, movement, things like that.
Mhm.
We can measure the increase and decrease over time. If something's working better than other things like rehabilitation, with enough subjects, you can decide if A or B is the best way to do things, the fastest rehabilitation. Any examples for these types of metrics? What you can find out?
So Marcus would be the right candidate to answer that, I believe, based on last week's talk, but see if we recall something as well. Anyone? Yeah, so you bring up something.
Like I said earlier about the FPS gamers have a faster reaction than normal people, and they tested that they had a group people playing 1 hour every day for like 10 weeks, and they noticed an increase in a decrease in reaction time. So it improved just by playing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we also have can track eye tracking with technology, which you can determine the reading level. If someone has dyslexia, ADD or ADHD, by running AI, there's also on the metrics of that. There's many projects, examples of that actually. Yeah, there's a lot of medical conditions we can determine from these cognitive metrics.
So, question. I mean, that's a practical example of alignment, right? So, because on the one hand we have the metrics, and the way I interpret it intuitively, I haven't read the studies, so you're the expert, regarding eye tracking and so on, isn't it fundamentally measuring motor skills primarily as a metric, and then drawing conclusions about cognitive ability? Because, you know, I assume, I mean, they're all work based on eye tracking, right? So you're not actually doing any sort of explicit test requiring, you know, intentional user input. You know what I mean?
You're just like coding your reading.
Yeah.
So it sees how long you pause on each word. If your gaze deflects, goes away, and things like this. This will determine if you have what your reading level is, and also your detects your audio.
Ah, right. Yeah. So it's a combined use of technology. Coming back to your talk.
Several telemetry data
Right.
into one metric.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any other ideas of technology and metrics you can use to?
Yeah. So anyone? Other tech for different means, purposes, scenarios, examples?
Well, you have tech that can measure heartbeat, for example.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
So did you hear? Did you hear, Maxime?
Heartbeat.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
That you can hook up to a game and track.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it in what's it called handling fear,
Yeah, for example.
detecting your heart rate to go up in the VR situation.
Ah, right, okay.
You also, of course, have like brain
Yeah.
scanners. I don't remember what they're called, but
Yeah.
to check the brain activities for the play,
Yeah, yeah,
see what areas activate, basically.
yeah. That's right. So you measure the activation of the different areas of the brain. That's right. That's a good point. Yes, that's a good way. Yeah. So various metrics for that one. What else do we have? So we have whether EKG. No, what's I forgot the MR. Yeah, what those devices you can wear. We have one flying around in my office.
You could have some haptic feedback to test radiation of muscles and everything.
Ah, right. So did you hear this? Haptic feedback for testing muscle ability, I guess, in one sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
use of VR for rehabilitation movements.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's quite widely used. Did we ever talk about this somewhere? Somehow? No.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so rehabilitation. Yep. Any other thoughts? For tech? Master of Applied Computer Science, okay. Applied. Okay, perhaps something comes back to us in afterwards, right? But I think important thing is it's not only a tech, of course. There needs to be also some, sensor fusion or some intelligent processing in between, most likely, because usually it's a combination of different sensors, not a singular sensor, right? So that's the tricky bit when you want to capture or make suggestions about cognitive abilities, for example, right? So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Just want to mention from about issues with metrics. I just read like yesterday about I saw an article about hairdressers having metrics feedback delivered to them through an app, and it's causing a lot of issues for them, like people are quitting or cannot sleep at night because of this.
Hang on, feedback? Like in which form? Like using an app or?
Yeah, they have an app and they get feedback from the clients, feedback about their economy, how much money they bring in, and it's causing stress.
Right. Okay.
So you have to also be aware of what kind of feedback you want to give back.
Yeah.
What you want to promote, what you want to improve, not just give everything.
Yeah.
So a specific paper we had was the metrics feedback cycle, measuring and improving user engagement in gamified e-learning systems. And we said we had like a basic of this is that you identify what you want to measure, what you want to achieve, and then you design the metrics and the telemetry that you want and implement them in your serious game and test them. And their purpose for their metrics feedback cycle, there was to use metric data to improve gamification features, increasing user engagement in this e-learning platform. And their thought was that schools usually engage users with extrinsic rewards the role of completing, getting good grades, fair failure, and then not dropping out. But we also need intrinsic rewards to improve engagement by increasing that. And that is intrinsic rewards of like you're doing the activity for the enjoyment of the activity itself. What we enjoy is electives, not just getting a good grade in the class.
Yeah.
So this is the model they used for visualizing the implementation, the metric, and evaluating it. And, removing or adapting metrics and features based on the metric that you receive back as time. Some of the metrics they used are dropout rate, error message, display time, total time spent versus total number of questions asked, tips, appreciation, corrected feedback, bounce rate, return visits. So they used our website for this. And, some of these are normal metrics that are used for other websites also, with some new ones. Like bounce rate and return visits, dropout rate are usual metrics for websites. So I think they should have a bit more serious game metrics in this.
Mm-hmm.
Their gamification features for a leveling system. They use the levels up when they complete tasks and daily login, reward trophy rewards, health bar and goals to past self, so they can compete against themselves, against their past achievements. Question timer, distraction reduction alerts, random encouragements. So, are the metrics useful for this to get knowledge about other users more engaged?
Yeah. Is there a question to the audience? Or,
Yeah, to myself.
And you to yourself. Okay, okay. Well,
I'm happy to get some answers from audience also.
all right. Oh, right. Of course.
Discuss.
That's the purpose of the course, right? That's right. Yes. So discussing the paper. So do you guys want to take a break before that? Before we discuss the paper? So you have a few minutes. We'll probably just continue at 11 or something.
Yeah.
So you can, they can stretch their legs a bit, and then we go into the discussion of paper, because that seems where we're ending up right now. Is that okay for you, Henning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just let you linked up, but you can do whatever you like until 11, just for the sake, so we keep the tech going. Otherwise, it probably will fall over. You're happy. You're welcome to do whatever you like. And we meet back here at 11, right, on either side. I'll just stop the stream though.